Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire Geek, and I'm having an impromptu live stream, just a news one. I just thought, what the hell? Let's just do it. Apologies for my image on the thumbnail. I haven't worn my flat cap for ages, have I? It's over there. It's hung up over there. Maybe I should get it back out again. Because I wanted the Yorkshire feel when I first started, but then I got this cap done. So anyway, whatever. Right, so we're going to go through some news stories. I haven't got anything picked out. By the way, I was going to look for a background to have, but I was watching the real BBC with Az and Gary, so you could just watch them in the background. What the hell? Happy Valentine's Day. So we'll have a love-in. I'll have a love-in with the Nerdrotic and Az. Although I suspect if I met Az in real life, I don't think we'd get on, to be honest. But I think Gary gets on with everybody. But never mind, that's by the by. Just watch them. Right, so let's get the news up. I don't know what we're going to look at. Right, here we go. Hang on. Make that a bit bigger. There we go. So what shall we look at first? What's this one? Remember the sci-fi series V? What happened to the actors? I don't care. Jane Badler, she was gorgeous, wasn't she? Oh, the other one, Faye Grant, she was gorgeous as well. Well, Faye Grant a singer? I think she was a singer as well, wasn't she, as well as an actress. And Mark, speaking of singers, there were Mark Singer, wasn't there, as Mike Donovan. He went on to be Beastmaster, didn't he? And probably other things. What's this one? Emma Roberts and Lawrence Fishburne to team up in sci-fi thriller The Astronaut. Okay. Movie review, Ant-Man 3 fumbles, comedy and sci-fi. By the way, that's the thing, they've been on about it on here. The Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, Ant-Man 3, reviews are pouring in, and they're not that good. They're that low to mid reviews, so it seems to be averaging about like 6 out of 10, getting the odd 7. Or like 3 out of 5, them sort of reviews. 3.5 out of 5, I think, was probably one of the highest I've seen. So it's not getting glowing reviews, but it didn't look very good to me anyway, to be honest. It just looks like people standing in front of a blue screen. To me, to you, anyway, sci-fi starring Chloe Moretz, renewed for season 2 of that Peripherals on Amazon. Still haven't watched season 1, so not interested in that. Prosthetic scientists look to superheroes, sci-fi for inspiration. So you can get yourself an extra finger, can you? Yeah, okay. Jonathan Major's first sci-fi film is worth a second look. So what were that? Captive State. I don't care. We're not doing well here, are we? Why Love and Monsters is a perfect Valentine's watch for sci-fi lovers. Love and Monsters? I don't know. What's this one? This genre-bending sci-fi film, Love and Monsters, has an emotional core that makes it perfect for a Valentine's Day watch. I don't know this one. Let's have a look, shall we? I'll open the link in a new tab. Right, so what's this? We're on MovieWeb. I'll try and put the links, so all the ones that we look at, I'll try and put in the description later. So what's this? It looks like... I don't know what it looks like. Love and Monsters is a science fiction post-apocalyptic adventure film released in 2020. I've not seen it, but it rings a bell, but I can't remember anything about it. While the film lost money on its $30 million budget at the box office, it received critical and audience praise. This cute and charming film is the perfect Valentine's watch for sci-fi lovers who appreciate dark humour and fun adventure in equal parts. Here are some of the reasons why you should put this film on your watch list for Valentine's Day. Have I got a love sound effect? I don't think I have. Hang on, I can't read the writing. What's that one say? Can't hear it. I wonder what it did. We'll never know. The speakers run out of charge. Oh, for God's sake! It doesn't play through me. Through me do for what's it? No, my speakers run out of charge. Great live stream, this, isn't it? Anyway, never mind. Right, where were we? Charming performances. I'm not reading all this. I can't be bothered. It has a lot of heart. Who's in it? Dylan O'Brien plays a character called Joel. Oh, is it The Last of Us? Jessica Henwick. That name rings a bell as well. Was she? Oh, she was in Game of Thrones. Yes, she was. Yes. Oh, that's her. Yes, she was one of the sand snakes or sand, whatever they called them. From Dawn, wasn't she? Fun monster designs. Oh, right. Oh, is that a monster there? Yes, it is. It has a dark comedic edge. It combines multiple genres. And that's it. Oh, right. So I might have a look at that. So there you go. Love and Monsters. Look it up if you want a Valentine's Day look. By the way, I've got a chat. I'm supposed to have a chat box up. Shall I say something to see if it... sign in to chat. This action cannot be performed inside Meet Streamlabs desktop. Things like you can open this in a web browser. Oh, for God's sake. I'll try this one then. We'll try that. I just want to see if the chat pops up. Did it pop up? Did it pop up? No, I can't see anything. I'm supposed to have a chat window that the chat pops up in. No, is it? I can't see anything. I can't see anything. Did it. That don't do anything. Hey, live streaming, it's all the rage. I don't know what I'm doing. Right, where were we? Naomi Ackie stars in a sci-fi drama with Laura Dern. Well, good for her. 8 sci-fi films to watch this Valentine's Day. Whatever. I'm single. God, the sci-fi news is shite, innit? Sorry, I do apologise for swearing, but not a lot of sci-fi news going on here. Not that's interesting, anyway. Why time travel makes for the greatest romances. Pedro Pascal gets real about the worst parts of Blame the Mandalorian because he's not there 90% of the time. As the Brie Larson army. What are you talking about? We got this covered. It'll be a lie. Bit of cosplay in Oregon. To conventions. I miss going to conventions. Used to go to them quite a lot, but I can't anymore. Never mind. 4 Stargate stars are headed to shore leave. What the hell's shore leave? Oh, it's a fan event. Oh, there you go. Ben Browder, Claudia Black, and many more sci-fi stars. And we've got there. Oh, we've got... I forgot a name. It'll come to me. And Robert Picardo, who plays Woolsey. Richard Woolsey. What do they call her? She played the nurse in Stargate Universe, and she was in Supernatural as well. It'll come to me. It'll come to me in about an hour. Emma Roberts and Lawrence Fishburne. I've just seen that one. The 10 most disappointing sci-fi movie remakes. Well, there's a lot of them, isn't there? No point looking at that. Because there's only 10. Oh, go on, let's have a look. Disappointing sci-fi. Well, no, we've got RoboCop, Total Recall. That's The Thing, isn't it? But that technically was a prequel, not a remake. Although it was a remake, but it was technically a prequel. But they just remade the original, didn't they? Right, so here we go. Death Race falls short of an underwhelming original. I quite enjoyed Death Race. And I quite enjoyed the original as well. The original had David Carradine and Sylvester Stallone in, and others. And I think, was it a Roger Corman production? I think it was. And, it was fun. And the remake was okay with Jason Statham. But I think in the sequels to it didn't have Jason Statham. It had one of the Bros chaps. Was it Luke Goss? One of the Gosses. But it were all right. I didn't think it was rubbish. it were a decent remake in my view, but they disagree. Right, Planet of the Apes has nothing new to offer. The Tim Burton Planet of the Apes. While the makeup effects were really good, they're amazing. I can't remember who didn't. Was it Rob Bottin or was it Stan Winston? I can't remember. The film itself wasn't that good, was it? As a remake, frankly, it were rubbish. But you can't win them all. RoboCop loses all the originals. So I agree with them there. But the others, the Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War of the Planet of the Apes, they were really good. RoboCop loses all the original's charm. Yes, he did. Plus, he got to keep one of his hands for some reason. I thought they agreed on total body prosthesis, but he kept one of his hands. And he could run. And it were rubbish. And I hated it. I thought, what crap. The remake of RoboCop. A film that didn't need a remake. I Am Legend wastes excellent performances. Well, there have been that many remakes of I Am Legend, haven't there? You know, The Last Man on Earth and Amiga Man and I Am Legend. And there's been others as well, haven't there? But which ones, oh, there we go. Neither Last Man on Earth nor The Amiga Man, the two earlier adaptations, are excellent in their own right. Well, no, because I don't think any version of it's very good, but I've not read the book. But I did quite enjoy I Am Legend. I thought it were okay. I think it were let down by that ropey CG, wasn't it, with the vampire creatures. That let the film down. If they'd just stayed practical, it'd probably been a lot better received, or more well received. Right. 6, The Thing just has nothing new to offer. As I said, technically, it's not a remake. They're calling it the 2011 remake of The Thing, but it wasn't. It was a prequel. It was what happened at the Norwegian base before the 1982 film. So there we go. Yes, and the John Carpenter's film is a remake of the 1951 version. I can't remember when it came out. Thing from Another World, which is okay. A lot of people say, oh, it's a classic, and it's all right. It's not as good as people make out. I don't think it is any road up. Star Trek Into Darkness would be better if it were a remake. It's Wrath of Khan, and it is crap. I hate that film. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's absolute garbage. On the switch, the Khan thing, didn't the Spock said it instead of Kirk. Yes, talk about ruining something with CG. Are you talking about RoboCop or The Thing? I think it's The Thing, innit? Yes, they did. Supposed to have practical effects, wasn't it, in The Thing, the 2011 Thing? Supposed to have practical effects. They did them all with practical effects, apparently, and shot it all. And then the suits came along and said, no, we want it CG. Why? I don't understand it. Baffling. Oh, hang on, I've just noticed the chat box has come up at the bottom of the screen. Hang on, let me shrink that down a bit. There we go, we're appearing, look. We're appearing. But I haven't got a background. I'm going to have to put a background in, aren't I? So let's have a look at this, because you can't see it. Theme boxed. We should. We don't want a transparent background, do we? Why is it doing a transparent background? There, we'll try that. No, it's just doing a transparent background. For some reason, I don't know why. Never mind. I will keep faffing. Hang on, let's keep going. Font size, that's the text colour, white, right. Background colour, it says here, it's black. Hide comma chat box, hide commands. The colour, there is something about CG that never looks scary. There's Wind Grace. Follow his channel, it's really good. Practical effects, even when they are terrible, can still instill that visceral fear. Yes, like the original The Thing. Rob Bottin's amazing effects, which still stand up today, for the most part. is amazing. A hex code for the widget background. This is for preview purposes only. Oh, it will not be shown on your stream. Oh, right, okay, right. Well, I don't. Oh, right, okay, fair enough. Never mind then. We'll just have to cope and hope it shows up better. It looks rubbish on mine there. Hang on, let's have a look. Where are we? What does it look like? Oh, it didn't showing up there. Oh, it says it won't show up on my stream. Oh, well, what's the point in having it then? If it doesn't show up on the bloody stream, for God's sake. Baffling. Somebody will get rid of that then, if it's not showing up on the stream. Stupid Streamlabs. I should go to StreamYard, shouldn't I? They make it a lot simpler. Anyway, where were we? What were we talking about? I can't remember. Oh, I had the thing. Yeah, Rob Bottin's. What were he? He was about 22 years old when he did that, the thing, didn't he, Rob Bottin? And the bit where, I can't remember the character's name, his head comes off. The one with the head grows legs, and you gotta be kidding me, that scene. That head that's on the floor, and when its tongue comes out, is one of the most amazing effects I've ever seen for a practical effect. I think it looks amazing. Right, anyway, Starting Into Darkness, less said about that the better. Rollerball lacks any of the original's merit. I've not seen it, so I can't comment on that. I've seen the original once with James Caan, but I think I was a bit young, so I didn't really get it. So I'll have to dig them out and see if I can find them somewhere, so streaming or whatever, and the original at least, and give it a second go. Godzilla 98 doesn't do the monster justice. No, it doesn't. But I like Godzilla 98. But I don't watch it as a Godzilla film. I just watch it as a, monster rampaging through New York film. I don't think of it as Godzilla or Gojira. But I do like it. Apart from Matthew Broderick, who's like a plank of wood, and he's the worst part of it. But I don't mind the film. I quite like Godzilla. So I'm not, but I don't count it as a sequel. I just count it as a monster film that you can say is inspired by Godzilla. Flatliners fails to improve on the original. I've got to be honest. I think I've seen the original once, and I wasn't over-impressed. It's a Joel Schumacher film, isn't it? I think, and I've not seen the remake. I've not seen the remake, so I can't comment on that one. And Total Recall just can't match the original. Well, no. The original is a classic. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sharon Stone and Ronnie Cox and Michael Ironside and other people. What is it? Rachel, is it Ticotin? I don't know how to pronounce her name. The Japanese don't count it as a sequel either. Well, no. Not many people do, I don't think. I mean, Final Wars, where they had the 98 Godzilla in that were easily taken out by, proper Godzilla. Anyway, well, with Total Recall. Yeah, the original is a classic based on the Philip K. Dick story. We'll Remember It for You Wholesale. Which I tried reading, but I'm not a big fan of Philip K. Dick writing, to be honest, because I'm not. But it's not very much like the source material. But the remake in 2012 with him, Colin Farrell, and what's her name? Oh God, Kate Beckinsale. Directed by Len Wiseman, who is he still Kate Beckinsale's husband? I don't know. It were crap, wasn't it? Let's just face it, it were crap. And it didn't bear. They didn't even go to Mars. They didn't even get their asses to Mars. So, there we go. So that's the end of that. So I'll stick the link for that if you want to read it. I know I didn't read it. I just went through the list. Let's see what else we can find. Michael Crichton's underwater sci-fi thriller Sphere turns 25. I'm going to look at this because you know what? I liked Sphere. I know it gets ragged on a lot, but I quite enjoyed Sphere. Oh, go away, bloody privacy things. So let's have a read of this one. Sphere is 25 and coming to TV soon. The only thing I didn't like about it, spoilers, is the ending, where they just decide to forget about everything. I know it kind of makes sense, with the story wise, but it's still stupid. Scientists investigate an underwater alien orb in this costly adaptation of Michael Crichton's 1987 bestseller. What are they on about on there? Oh, the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That's what that is. It were kind of, what it reminded me of a little bit, or more than a little bit, is Event Horizon. It was like Event Horizon under the sea, wasn't it? Anyway, did you go inside the sphere? I think she went inside the sphere. Back in my days at film school, they went, saw the reflection, then the reflection went floating up into the sphere, didn't it? Back in my days at film school in the late 90s, not me, the author of the article, who is Jeff Spry. I wonder if he is. I wish I was Spry. Cinema geeks intentionally tossing out any number of ridiculously repetitive lines from director Barry Levinson's $100 million sci-fi flick Sphere immediately set off a hilarious chorus of I saw you go inside the sphere jokes. I liked it. This, of course, was a reference to the mysterious golden orb discovered in the derelict underwater spaceship that takes centre stage in Michael Crichton's best-selling 1987 novel Sphere. Oh, God, my eye's twitching. What's my eye twitching for? Which became a star-studded Hollywood blockbuster unceremoniously dumped into an unloved box office abyss. Today marks the 25th anniversary of Sphere, which rolled into theatres from Warner Brothers on February 13th, 1998, surfing a decade-long tsunami of tentpole science fiction movies like The Abyss, Stargate, Independence Day, Starship Troopers, Mars Attacks, The Fifth Element, Contact, and Event Horizon, which I've just mentioned. Sphere isn't exactly Crichton's best book among his catalogue. I've not read it. To be honest, the only Michael Crichton book I've read is Jurassic World. So there you go, I think. But it's an entertaining beach read with enough big ideas and psychological nuggets to attract A-list talent like director Barry Levinson and actors Dustin Hoffman, Sharon Stone, Samuel L. Jackson, who doesn't like squid, is it Liev Schreiber? Or I've always said it Liev Schreiber, but I've been told it's pronounced Liev. And Peter Coyote, when Tinseltown came calling. Filmed using a C6 screenplay adapted by Stephen Hauser, Paul Atanasio, and Kurt Wimmer, Sphere was a critical and commercial failure that barely scraped together $70 million in worldwide box office receipts. I think they were hoping just the star power itself of the cast would draw people in, and it didn't. Reshoots and disastrous test screenings resulted in budgetary overruns and a delay from its Christmas of 1997 release and into the lost wastelands of February. At least it wasn't January. And there's the poster. As I say, I enjoyed Sphere. Where are we going? Crichton started writing Sphere way back in 1967 as a follow-up piece to his The Andromeda Strain. Classic film, but a bit boring. Crafting a plot that chronicled the first part's the best, the Andromeda Strain, where they go into the town and they find the people, desiccated. Crafting a plot that chronicled a team of American scientists finding a 300-year-old spacecraft underwater that contained markings written in English. Yes. It's been a while since I've seen it, actually, so I'm just remembering it now. Unable to fashion a balanced storyline, Crichton shelved the project until he could deliver a compelling tale to fit the premise. As I said, it's basically Event Horizon under the sea. The finished novel was published in 1987, and the film roughly follows the same plot trajectory. It's the story of a well-known psychologist, Dustin Hoffman, who years ago wrote a paper detailing protocols for extraterrestrial first contact. I think he wrote it as like they paid him sort of like $10,000 or something, or whatever, and he just like made it up. He did it for the money. He's required by the US Navy to join scientists assembled by a secret faction of our government to examine an enormous alien spaceship discovered on the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Wingrace says, not sure why this is making me think of Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. Did you watch that? Yeah, I watched that series. Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed that. Particularly the H.P. Lovecraft ones. They were good. I enjoyed them. What Sphere's making you think of that? I suppose it kind of is a bit Lovecraftian, isn't it? Although there's no big. Well, there is a tentacle monster in it, isn't there? There's the giant squid, isn't there? But it's not like, Cthulhu-ish, is it? Leave that for that film Underwater with her out of Thingamabob. The one with the vampires. God, I forgot to call it. With the sparkly vampires, that one. That were good, that. I enjoyed that Underwater. That were Lovecraftian at the end with the big, creatures. Anyway, where were we? A human contact team is formed to investigate this unknown interstellar vehicle, which crashed 3 centuries ago, some 1,000 feet, 305 metres, below the surface, and is now buried by extensive coral growth. The expedition consists of a psychologist, Hoffman, a biochemist, Stone, a mathematician, Jackson, and an astrophysicist, Schreiber. Whatever. Who all seem ill-equipped for the dangerous deep-sea mission, yet carry on for nearly 2 hours with incessant accusatory bickering. Yeah, they don't get on. I want to know, how can you mistake onion rings for squid? I've no idea. Because I've had squid. It's bloody horrible. And it's nothing like onion rings. Anyway, early in the film, it's revealed that this spacecraft, a futuristic American vessel that jumped through a black hole and came back in time to the 18th century with cargo intact, as this event horizon under the sea. Later, the central story takes an intriguing turn. It's discovered that the shimmery cosmic globe inside the ship has the power to manifest human thoughts, dreams, and nightmares, which results in some unintentionally funny scenes with a gooey jellyfish swarm, vicious sea snakes, and even a Jules Verne-inspired monster squid, or at least the electronic outline on the radar screen. Well, you kind of get, bits of it. It's making me think of that episode where all the people go to check out the alien artifact and do drugs. I don't remember that one. Did I watch it all the way through? Maybe I missed an episode. I can't remember now. I can't remember that one. Anyway, where were we? The concept of alien relic influencing or manifesting human thought is nothing new in science fiction circles and is best represented in director Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey, or even the sentient planet found in Russian filmmaker Andrei Tarkovsky's 1972 masterpiece Solaris, another film I've not seen, and I haven't even seen the George Clooney version. I started watching it but got bored out of my school and turned it off. It was also used in similar fashion for director Paul W.S. Anderson's Event Horizon 1 year earlier. There you go, Event Horizon Under the Sea. The film does stumble with plot logic and character motivations, seemingly tossed into the churning ocean, but they're not enough to take your suspension of disbelief into uncharted waters. If one can view this as a B-movie gem and let it wash over you, it's well worth a watch. Yeah, which is what I do. I like it. I like Sphere. How's this article going for? Bloody hell, I'm not reading all this about Sphere. Christ, it's not that good. But yeah, it's good. It's fun, this Sphere. I like it. Give it a chance. There you go. There's the Sphere. And there's then their little suits. It's under the sea, not in space. And it manifests their thoughts. So everything they're scared of appears. So Samuel L. Jackson is frightened of squid. So a giant squid appears, and jellyfish and all the other stuff. That's what it does. So there you go. Oh, and he's reading. He's reading a book. I think it's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. He's reading it, and he never got past the squid part. So the book he's got is like blank after that because he never read past that. So anyway, but it's a good film. Give it a go. But that Cabinet of Curiosities episode, Wind Grace, I can't remember it. But I did watch it. I think I watched it. I'm sure I watched it all the way through, but I can't remember that episode. Go check out the alien artifact and do drugs. I can't remember. But I'm senile anyway, and I can't remember stuff. Anyway, that were on space.com. Let's continue our search for interesting news stories. I hope I come across one. 10 movies that proved 2009. Oh, that's years ago. Barclay sci-fi author's new novel invents a hopeful future for the human race. Well, I should hope so. Oh, pardon me, just had a drink of pop. It's making me burp. Signs and 9 other grounded sci-fi movies. Let's have a look at that. It's a list show, this, isn't it? We're just looking at lists, basically, because there's no news. All the news is the trailers from the Super Bowl on Sunday, and that's the news, isn't it? And Star Trek Picard starts on Thursday. That's it. That's all the news that is. Gary agrees. He nodded. Right, Signs and 9 other grounded sci-fi movies. I like Signs, but I'm into UFOs. I used to be really into. I used to write for a UFO magazine. Well, I've written for 2 in my time, but I'm not an expert or anything like that. But I did like Signs. But I do like M. Night Shyamalan's films for the most part. So let's just go down and have a look. Right, Never Let Me Go. This film I'd quite enjoyed, but I've only seen it once, and I'll probably never see it again. But at the time, I thought it was quite good. When's that? 2010. So there we go. Andrew Garfield, Keira Knightley, Carey Mulligan, in reverse order, in that picture. But yes, they're in a boarding school, and shall I spoil it? I don't know. I shouldn't spoil it really. I'll read it. Tommy, Ruth and Kathy are 3 students who spend their childhood at a secluded English boarding school. The trio develops a complicated romantic triangle while attempting to understand their short-lived place in the world. This 2010 adaptation of Kazuo Ishiguro's novel of the same name offers a reality where so it's spoiling it. Me saying I'm not going to spoil it. Where clones are raised to adulthood for the sole purpose of organ harvesting. You know, it's like in The Island. Another film I quite like. I think The Island is Michael Bay's best film, oddly. But there you go. The film is a bleak and devastating reflection on life and love, as well as a serious ethical discourse on the nature and trajectory of modern healthcare. I don't think they'll be making clones for organ harvesting anytime soon. So when are we? I liked Signs better than The Sixth Sense, if I'm being honest. I don't know. I like both. They're different enough to not compare. That's how I'd put it. Sixth Sense is one of my favourite films. I watch that regularly. But I watch Signs every now and again. But yeah, I do like them both. Under the Skin. This is a good film. I would say it's a really good film, but another one I've only seen once. But it's a good film. There you go, Scarlett Johansson. Is it going to... Yeah. Well, it spoils it there in the image. An alien taking the form of a beautiful woman, Scarlett Johansson, and that's the alien, and it's like got her like skin over it, and it takes... Near the end of the film, it takes it off. So it's looking at her, its own face there. Travels the roads of Glasgow in search of men to seduce. Once subject to her whim, these men find themselves in a dark void, slowly engulfed in the dark, watery abyss, never to be seen again, victims of terrifying and unknowable alien purposes. Yeah, it's a bit... what's the word? Enigmatic, that's the word. It's enigmatic. A rare feature in the filmography of English director Jonathan Glazer, birth sexy beast. Under the Skin won plaudits upon its release for the terror of its grounded science fiction, sparing in its alien imagery and subtle in its craft. This unusual entry in Johansson's career is an unnerving and exceptional work of art. Yeah, and as I say, it's got some nude scenes, and I think it's Scarlett Johansson, but she looks a bit dumpy in it, as though she's not worked out. She doesn't look like the Scarlett Johansson we see in, Black Widow and all them films. When I say dumpy, I mean, it's not how you expect. I don't know. Watch it. It's a good film. There's a chap in it that's a British actor, and he's got a condition where he's I don't know how to put it. Can you say deformed? I don't know, but like the Elephant Man, is that sort of thing. And that's a tough scene to get through. Where were we? I'm just saying, Windgrace again. I'm just saying that because people tend to claim Shyamalan went downhill after Sixth Sense. I don't know. I think it was after Village, really, wasn't it? A lot of people didn't like The Village, and then after that, was it Lady in the Water after that? And people said that were rubbish. But I quite enjoyed it, yeah. But well, like I say, I quite liked all of Shyamalan's films. But I haven't seen Airbender, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I haven't seen that because I'm not. I wasn't into the cartoons, so I wasn't going to watch that. And did he do that After Earth? Was that Will Smith one with Will Smith and his son? Was that an M. Night Shyamalan one? But I haven't seen that one either. But my son has, and he quite enjoyed it. So there you go. But yeah, I like his films. I think he's a good filmmaker. But he's got an ego though, hasn't he? He's got to appear in all of his films, or he seems to anyway, in some way. He thinks he's Alfred Hitchcock, doesn't he? Anyway, let's move on. Her, 2013. I've not seen this one. Awkward, introverted, and still nursing a broken heart, Theodore, is that Twombly or Toombly? I don't know how to pronounce it. Joaquin Phoenix. Hang on, Windgrace. I love The Village. The twist wasn't fantastic. But, yeah, I didn't like the twist there. But you could see it coming. You know what was happening. Where were we? Theodore Twombly or Toombly, I don't know. Takes advantage of a new device operating system that is said to be able to meet his every need. However, we see Theodore open up to the world again when he and the AI system, going by the name Samantha, by Scarlett Johansson, there we go, begin to develop a romantic interest in one another. So it's like Electric Dreams, is it? That film from the 80s. Jones's solo screenwriting debut, is it... I forgot his name. Spike Jonze, is it? Jones's solo screenwriting debut and subsequently his first Academy Award for said original screenplay takes the simple concept of the need to connect and applies it to a world that feels just a few short paces beyond our own. Although a decade on, it feels like we might be slowly catching up. Phoenix is ever present, offering a performance, both parts incredibly sweet and completely devastating. As I said, I've not seen it, but it does sound a bit like Electric Dreams. But I've not seen that either. All I know about Electric Dreams is the song by Phil Oakey, Together in Electric Dreams. That's all I know about it. But I think I've seen the trailer for her, and it gave me Jim Carrey and whoever else were in it film. I'll remember in a minute. That one where they keep erasing the memories. That one, it gave me them vibes. Eternal Sunshine of the Thingamabob Mind. That one, yeah. Anyway, Strawberry Mansion 2021. Never heard of it, but it's pink by the looks of it. Is that the aforementioned Strawberry Mansion? I don't know. James Preble, Ken Tucker Audley, great name, is a pleasantly mannered government agent. Who must perform a tax audit on Arabella Isadora's vast collection of VHS tapes containing a lifetime of her unconscious dreams. as this future surveillance state now regularly taxes its citizens' dreams. It's coming. If they could do it, they would. However, as he wanders Arabella's vast trove, he discovers a secret that might help him break free of his unfilling existence. From the minds of Audley and Albert Burney comes a quirky, colourful and beautiful piece of sci-fi, the likes of which rarely finds its way to screens anymore. Audley and Burney's creativity is just awe-inspiring, with incredible costuming, a seemingly endless stream of fun characters, absurd scenarios, and an exhibition of their multimedia talents, including digital and stop-motion animation. Oh, there we go. So, there we go. I bet it's arty-farty. I bet it is. I bet it's arty-farty. I mean, I'm all, art for art's sake and all that, and I'm all for, filmmakers flexing their creative muscles, but sometimes they go overboard a bit sometimes, don't they? And lose the story. But anyway, right. Nope, 2022. I like Nope. As I said, I'm into UFOs, and this was kind of a UFO story. Although in my review I did say that it did feel like Jordan Peele did the Twilight Zone, didn't he? Redid that. And it did feel like a stretched out episode of the Twilight Zone. That's what it reminded me of. But anyway, after his father's mysterious and unexplainable death, O.J. Haywood, Daniel Kaluuya, continues it's miserable all the way through the film, continues to operate his family's isolated Californian ranch alone, with the occasional help of his sister, Emerald Kiki Palmer. When the same strange occurrences that led to their father's death re-emerge, the pair decide they need to investigate. Jordan Peele, beyond being a modern master of horror, is equally a modern master of grounded science fiction and social thrillers. Get Out and Us, both of them overrated, I thought. I thought Get Out were okay, but Us just got on my nerves. I just thought, what is this garbage? Feature the lives of ordinary people irreversibly changed by strange and elevated horrors of science, while Nope takes it one step further, introducing a brutal and malicious alien visitor, creating his most deeply terrifying scenario yet. So they didn't spoil that one. Other ones they spoiled, didn't they? But yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Nope. It were okay. And a great turn from Michael Wincott, who plays a cameraman. And he's very good in it. Stepford Wives, 1975. I've seen this one once. I've not seen the remake. I forgot her name. Never mind. Not seen the remake, but I've seen this one once. I like the concept behind Us, but was very disappointed that it was so grounded and not supernatural at all. Yeah, I said, I don't know. To be honest, I don't think I got it. To be honest, I didn't understand why. Spoilers. Why we had like doubles living underground in tunnels under the ground that perfectly matched above ground. Were he inspired by the Parisian catacombs? Which apparently the layout of the Parisian catacombs is identical to the road layout above. Apparently, were he inspired by that? For us, I don't know, but yeah, I got on my nerves. It did, and I knew instantly, straight away, what were happening. Within 5 minutes of the film starting, I knew what were going on. Anyway, where were we? Stepford Wives. To Joanna Eberhardt, Catherine Ross, something about the idyllic town of Stepford feels off. Catherine, can we see her there? There she is, front and centre, Catherine Ross. You may know her from The Final Countdown, that film where the USS Nimitz goes back in time to 1941. Cool film. With Kirk Douglas as well, and other people. Right, anyway, to Joanna Eberhardt, Catherine Ross, Martin Sheen as well, he's in that. Something about the idyllic town of Stepford feels off, after having moved there with her family from New York City at the suggestion and insistence of her husband Walter, Peter Masterson, Joanna is not alone in feeling that the men of the town are keeping a dark secret and her husband might just be in on the plot. This 1975 social horror movie followed Rosemary's Baby as the second adaptation of the novels of horror author Ira Levin. Eerie and discomforting, the film's subject matter has only grown in potency with its science fiction elements and feminist themes. I saw it once, years and years ago, but let's say it wasn't made for me at the time. I think I was a bit too young to understand, but they're very, very nice ladies there, I must admit. Oh, there's she's British, that is, I forgot her name. She used to do washing up liquid adverts in the UK. What's her name now? Oh, it'll come to me. Never mind. But yeah. And it got remade, didn't it? And it's a classic trope, innit? You know, spoilers, they're all robots. So it's been, done to death, and in comedies and stuff like that. Right, number 7, Signs. Here we go. 2002. There they are with the tinfoil hats, because it stops the aliens reading your mind. When the Hess family, a rural American farming family, begins finding crop circles, well, they don't begin to just find a crop circle, don't they? Well, it's a pattern, isn't it? It's not really a circle. On their land, they are unsure what these symbols could mean for them. However, as widowed family patriarch Graham Hess, Mel Gibson, really good party players, in my opinion, but I like Mel Gibson, Never mind his controversy. It's cool. Learns more about the signs. He and his family's faith is pushed to its limits. Well, his faith's been pushed to its limits before the film began, didn't it? Because of the death of his wife. He hung up he was a priest, wasn't he? And he hung up his dog collar. But the sheriff keeps calling him father. Well, the town keep calling him father, don't they? And he keeps saying, "Don't call me father. I'm not a priest anymore." Because of his wife's death. Anyway, a classic in the catalogue of M. Night Shyamalan, and most likely a staple in the watch lists of UFO enthusiasts. Yes, it is. 2002 Signs is a drama of family and faith under the guise of an alien invasion story. Shyamalan has always been... Sorry, Shyamalan is just made in. The way you say it, I always want to say a ding-dong. Sorry. Shyamalan has always been a master of using the most elevated of circumstances in telling the most grounded of narratives, as evidenced even today by his most recently released Knock at the Cabin, which I've not seen, but it's some reviews are saying it's really good and some saying it's not. So is it one of these, what we call a Marmite film? You either love it or hate it. I don't know. But Signs is a great film. I love Signs. I watched it quite recently, actually. It's a great film with some good scares in it. You see the alien, you see it on the roof, and then you see its leg, just disappearing into the corn, and it gives you the chills, doesn't it? And it's got a young, I forgot her name. She's in, I think she's grown up now, but she was only a little kid then. She was in Zombieland, Abigail something or other. But she's adorable in this. She just keeps leaving glasses of water everywhere. And she keeps saying it's the water's contaminated and stuff. But it ends up saving everybody. A lot of coincidences in Signs. Thankfully she leaves the water about and, glasses of water on top of the TV or on chest of drawers. And his wife, his last words saying, tell Joaquin Phoenix's character, I forgot his name, to swing away. He just happened to be a baseball player, which helps with the end of the film. And aliens that are allergic to water invading the planet that's surface is covered 75% of water. Not the best of ideas on their part, but never mind. It's a cool film. Go and watch it. Right, number 8, Sorry to Bother You, 2018, another film I've never heard of. Cassius Green, Lakeith Steinfield, struggles to pay rent while living in his uncle's garage with his girlfriend Detroit, Tessa Thompson, who you'll know from the Thor films and other stuff. After landing work as a telemarketer, Cassius learns to adopt a white voice to appease potential customers, like the Eddie Murphy white voice.
I ain't gonna fall for no banana in the tailpipe.
You got to put your bag into it. You ain't gonna fall for no banana in the tailpipe. Like that. Is that what it's going to be like? This secret method skyrockets him up the corporate ladder. However, the world of the corporate elite harbours many a strange and dangerous secret. Boots Riley, look at some cool names in this article, has always been an outspoken progressive figure. So it is no surprise that his hit feature debut, it's that much of a hit, I've never heard of it, is an inventive take on modern America. Grounded in the working class struggle, Riley makes the clear racial microaggressions and racist practices that are common practice in the corporate world, using strange and disturbing science fiction elements to rattle his viewers. All right, I'm going to say what's the science fiction part of it, but I don't know. This movie really goes off the rails. The description, is this what we're on about now? Sorry to bother you. All right, I've not seen it. I've never heard of it. It goes off the rails. All right. Might have to look it up then. Alphaville, 1965. Another one I've never seen. I think it's a French one, isn't it? I think. Private Eye Lemmy Cautious, Eddie Constantine, is sent to a distant planet, to the futuristic city of Alphaville, ruled by an evil scientist and its tyrannical AI overlord Alpha 60, who have outlawed love and expression, turning its inhabitants into strange, unfeeling beings. Cautious is sent undercover as a journalist with a series of missions involving rescue, murder, and the destruction of Alpha 60. It is a common rule that if an idea exists, then Jean-Luc Godard has probably dabbled in it. While the concept of Alphaville sounds the furthest thing from grounded, Godard's production processes certainly afford the film this title. Made without sets on the streets and in the buildings of Paris, Godard uses his surroundings to craft his dystopian vision of Alphaville. His methods for creating the world are incredibly interesting and inspiring, rife for research on the part of any aspiring filmmaker or cinephile. So obviously, I'm not a cinephile because I've never seen it. I've heard of it, obviously I've heard of it. It's always popping up in lists. Right, number 10. That's the last one. Lapsis, and this is another one I've never heard of. Although she looks familiar, but we'll see. What is described, when was this, 2020? What is described as a parallel present rather than an alternate future, Ray Dean Imperial, another cool name, struggles to support his brother, who is suffering at the hands of a mysterious but widespread new illness by taking up odd and often criminal jobs. Ray finds his latest gig in a strange line of work, trawling cables over long distances to connect a series of metal cubes as part of a new digital trade market. Ray's unscrupulous means of landing this gig finds him even more trouble amid a conspiracy. Yay! We all like a good conspiracy. Noah Hutton's 2020 feature is an elevated portrayal of the gig economy, designed to expose its flaws and the dangerous possibilities that may emerge if we allow it to continue to envelop such a large portion of our labour market. The gig economy, I think that's what we call 0 hours in this country. A fascinating and incredibly grounded modern sci-fi movie, it feels as if directors in the modern era are looking less and less to alternate futures and more often to these parallel presents in generating their dystopian visions. Oh, so very interesting. So there you go, 10 grounded sci-fi films. A good few of them I've never heard of, to be honest, or not seen, but I have seen some of them. Right, we'll move on, see what else we can find. How long have we been going for? I'll stop soon. I will stop soon. Let's go back to the beginning because I think we've got some new stories have popped up. There we go. Another was Quantumania review. Prior Ferguson on My Dad the Bounty. I don't know. Simulant. Sam Worthington-led sci-fi thriller. It sounds like, Android, Blade Runner sort of thing, doesn't it? And there we're back to the V. So we'll carry on. Where were I up to? We're on page 3. Yep. Oh, bad me. See, I've just had another drink of pop and I'm burping already. Right, that was the last one we did, wasn't it? The Astronaut, Emma Roberts and Lawrence Fishburne. Oh, yeah, we know that. I saw that earlier on, didn't I? I think that's going to be it, isn't it, for this? Let's have a look on another sci-fi news page. Let's try this one. Mace Windu's lightsaber hinted at his dark side weakness. Does it? Well, it's purple, wasn't it? Well, that is weakness, that it were purple. Never mind. Prior Ferguson, I've just seen that one. Wife of Doctor Who drove Tesla off cliff. All right, not Doctor Who. Wife of Doctor Who drove Tesla off cliff. Doesn't want him to face charges. So that's not a sci-fi. It's got Doctor Who in it. Oh dear. Star Trek takes place in a post-religious world. Well, Earth is post-religious. Earth is now, I don't know the word, what they call it. I can't remember the word, what it is. But Earth is post-religious. There might still be religions, but, as a rule, religion's not believed in, is it? But they tolerate, I think in the Federation, I think if you want to have a religion, it's tolerated. It's not like, I don't think it's a stipulation of joining the Federation that you've got to, shrug off religion, because otherwise the Bajorans wouldn't be allowed in the Federation, would they? Which they were towards the end of Deep Space Nine. So yeah, because it's more scientific in it than secular. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a secular society. But I don't think religion is abolished or anything like that. I think if you want in the Federation, if you want to believe in higher powers and stuff, fair enough. You're free to do whatever you want. Right, where were we? Time Travel Tuesday, prosthetic science. Oh, we saw that one. Patrick Stewart admits he initially vetoed a Star Trek Next Generation reunion on Picard. Yeah, because he wanted it all to himself. Let's have a read. Because he's an egomaniac. Apparently. They all, we love Sir Pat. As his friends call him, Pat Stew. Here we go. Oh, God, there's bloody cookies things. There's going to be another one pops up, isn't there? Got to move that over now, haven't I? To make it fit. Patrick Stewart admits he initially vetoed a Star Trek The Next Generation reunion on Picard because he said he didn't want to. They had to talk him into allowing Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis on, didn't they? Go away. Pop-ups. When Patrick Stewart, and there he is, tell the old bugger. When Patrick Stewart signed on to star in Star Trek Picard, he was adamant that there would be no Star Trek The Next Generation cast reunion. Then an early scene between two old friends changed his mind. No, Terry Matalas, getting him drunk for season 3, before season 3. He got him drunk and changed his mind. They talked him round. But before, they just allowed, Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis, didn't they? And Brent Spiner, but I think Brent Spiner were going to be in it anyway. Ahead of Picard's third and final season premiere Thursday on Paramount Plus, Friday in the UK, fingers crossed, the 82-year-old actor, who actually were born, where am I? That direction, about 2 miles from me, in the neighbouring village of Murfield, West Yorkshire. So there you go. But he doesn't sound much like me, does he? Does Patrick Stewart. He's lost his accent somewhat. Anyway, where were we? The 82-year-old actor and his longtime co-star, Jonathan Frakes, 70, spoke with People about the magazine. about the cathartic experience of getting the iconic sci-fi TV series crew back together for one final adventure, joining Stewart and Frakes, who previously stepped on the Picard set both as a guest star and director, are Michael Dorn as Worf, Gates McFadden as Dr. Beverly Crusher, and LeVar Burton as Geordie LaForge, Brent Spiner, Marina Sirtis, and Will Wheaton. I didn't think Will Wheaton were going to be in it. Who previously guest starred on Picard, also returned for the final season. So Will Wheaton's in it, is he? Will Wheaton. Family Guy. I thought it sodded off with that Soji. I know she wasn't called Soji, but in season 2, that a face does me head in. Has been hit by a iron. It sodded off with her, didn't he? Because he's become a traveller now, hasn't he? Is one of them. Anyway, the last time the entire cast shared a screen was for 2002 Star Trek Nemesis, a critical and commercial failure. I liked it. I liked Star Trek Nemesis. Wingray says, yeah, I could have sworn they said Will Wheaton was not in it at all. Yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe they've got it wrong. And apparently Denise Crosby's not in it. I were hoping that she were going to be in it, either as, Tasha Yar or as Seela. But she's been on Twitter saying she's not in it. So, there we go. I forgot where we were now. A critical and commercial failure, it led to a brutal axing of the TNG property. More than 20 years later, the cast were grateful for the chance to say a proper goodbye. I like Nemesis. The only thing I didn't like about Nemesis... the director knew nothing about Star Trek. Stuart Baird is a good editor, but he's not a very good director. What was I saying? And that's all like the bit where he wanted to try out I forgot what they called it, that Mad Max type, Dune buggy thing. That was stupid. Where they found bits of B4 scattered about. Why were they there? Don't know. That was the only daft bit, but all the rest of it with Shinzon and the scimitar and all that's got the best space battle in Star Trek, in my opinion, when the Enterprise E and the 2 Romulan vessels take on the scimitar. It's cool and it's good stuff. And when Picard says, what does he say? I can remember it. Full phasers, 0 elevation, target any shield impacts, fire when ready, stuff like that. It says things like cool, and it gives me chills, and I'm getting goosebumps. Anyway, below, Stuart and Frakes open up about the last season of Picard, the death of a beloved colleague, and what TNG keepsakes they took from the set. Is this going to be a long interview? Oh, we'll see. I'm sad to start with this. Oh, yes, she did, didn't she? But I wanted to express my condolences for the death of Annie Wershing. She was amazing, and I believe playing the Borg Queen was her final on-screen role. Would either of you like to share a memory? She was in Enterprise as well. Oh, pardon me. But she was quite good as the Borg Queen in Picard. I didn't mind it. Although the season 2 of Star Trek Picard were crap, her role, were okay. She did a good job. Anyway, I spent a lot of time with her, with Alison Pill, or as Gary calls her, the drummer from Scott Pilgrim, when I directed last season. And I know from having done first contact with Alice Krieg, or Krieger, I don't know how to pronounce it, playing the Borg Queen, that there's no glamour in becoming the Borg Queen. It's 4 hours of makeup and prosthetics and hair and skin-tight costumes and, and tubes. Oh, cracking burping, good heavens. Live. And tubes being stuck into your head. So it tries your patience before you've even set foot on the stage. And Annie never lost her sense of humour and never lost her focus. She was a beacon of joy on the set as an actor. Patrick Stewart. Well, I was very shocked by the news when it came through, although we had very little contact, but her work, which I have seen, was extraordinary, so it was sad and disappointing to hear this news, because she was terrific in the series. Had very little contact. Does it mean like away from work? Because I'm sure he had a few scenes with her. Anyway, did either of you have any idea that the series would ultimately lead to a full TNG reunion? Or were you just pleasantly surprised as fans? Patrick Stewart says, No, initially my feeling had been I had certain conditions attached to signing on to this. That I was excited about the idea of a Star Trek series called Picard. The Next Generation was something I thought we had done great work on, but this now was something very different. Yeah, it was about you, Patrick. I mean, you even got your own life story written into it somehow. So even when we started shooting, there wasn't a plan about the assembly. But then in season 1, I played one scene with Marina Sirtis and Jonathan Frakes, and Jonathan as Riker, when we were making pizza. And little by little, I saw that I had been wrong to put a veto on full TNG cast elements in this new series. And I think that it's worked out to everyone's satisfaction. I know I enjoyed it immensely. Apparently it's really good. But I suspect it's not going to last. That's what I suspect. I don't think they're going to build on it anyway. But you never know, Jonathan Frakes says, Patrick had the good taste to initially gather us and say, I'm doing a Picard series. It's after Picard has left Starfleet, and I want to be the first to tell you that it's just Picard. So a reunion to come as a surprise is an understatement. And there he is. That's probably Nemesis. I don't know. It probably is. With the final TNG film, Star Trek Nemesis, having such a rough go with critics and underperforming at the box office, I liked it. Was there a part of either of you that yearned for one last proper adventure and send-off for these characters? Frakes, our TNG days ended because it was the first Star Trek movie to lose money. Oh, and Paramount cut their losses. Maybe they shouldn't have gone with Stuart Baird as director then. I don't know why. Why did they? Why did they go with a director that had nothing to do with Star Trek and knew nothing about Star Trek? Because he was a famous editor. I mean, he's edited loads of massive films of Stuart Baird. So why did they go with him? I don't know. He admitted he didn't know anything about Star Trek. Should have gone with Jonathan Frakes. Let him direct it. I don't know what Nemesis cost to make, but it lost money, and therefore they were done with us. I mean, back then the Star Trek films didn't cost a lot of money. Not like now, Even if you adjust for inflation, I don't think they were that expensive films. We're only like when JJ got his hands on them, they became like $175, $200 million films. I think that back then there were a lot less than that. I think one Nemesis something like a, I don't know, 50, 60, $70 million budget. And I think it was the biggest budget, I think. Anyway, I'll have to look it up. Let's have a look. Let's look it up. Star Trek Nemesis budget. Clickety click. $60 million US. Told you. And it lost money, did it? What was its gross then? Let's have a look on what it says here. What did it gross? Its box office, 67 million. Yeah, so it did lose money. Anyway. Right, where were we? Lost money, and therefore they were done with us. I never thought it was going to be the end until they said, you're done. Did you, Patrick? Did you think we were done? Patrick replies, oh no, on the contrary, and I have to say before I get into that, Nemesis, I think, was a disappointment to all of us. Because I think Patrick Stewart and Brent Spine, I think they had some creative input into it. Probably why, the story wasn't quite as good, because Patrick likes to do his little indulgences, doesn't he? And he wanted to do some driving. But it was not the quality of what had gone before with the 3 previous movies, particularly the one that Jonathan had directed, First Contact. Because I think Patrick Stewart's a producer on Star Trek Nemesis, which was absolutely brilliant. They had already a draft of a movie project which would follow Nemesis, but we just got kind of brutally axed. Frakes, yeah, it was brutal. Well, essentially ended the Star Trek franchise, didn't it? No, it didn't. I'm lying. Because Enterprise went on till 2005, didn't it? So I'm lying. Les Moonves ended the Star Trek franchise. Anyway, so it's fair to say that when you did not have closure with these characters, and that this must have been therapeutic, to say the least, to revisit them and close it out the way that you wanted to. Patrick Stewart said, yes, and certainly in that, all of this came together and developed while we were shooting the first season of Picard. It was rubbish. Countless conversations with executive producers Terry Matalas and Alex Kurtzman, boo, about this. And we met and discussed and went through a whole series of storylines and ideas about reuniting, and eventually we did, and it was wonderfully successful. But Terry Matalas had to get you drunk on wine before you came round to it. That's Terry Matalas' story, anyway. Anyway, in my opinion, TNG had the perfect ending, with Captain Picard finally joining the senior crew's poker game. Without any spoilers, do you feel this series ends as satisfying? That were in the season 7 finale. All good things. It ends with Picard joining the poker game. He says, I should have done this years ago. And he said, you were always welcome. That was my Marina Sirtis impression. Frakes, I'm too much of a spoiler mouth, but when someone asks me a question like that, I'm lucky I still work at CBS. I would say it's a very satisfying season with a very satisfying ending. I've not seen it, but I was watching a video today by Dave Cullen, and he doesn't spoil it. He says he's seen it all the way through, and he says the end, the final episode, he says is massive. So we will see. And he says it's a very good ending, and a good send-off. So we will see. Patrick Stewart, here. No blinds are drawn, but saying goodbye, that never happens anyway, because one of the joys of this work is that we've done from the Next Generation right through to the end of Picard and all those movies is that we are a team. Why am I speaking like that? I don't know. And we all have a relationship. I mean, we have a password, don't we, for all our online communications and so forth. Frakes says we have a very interesting group text, I will say. I have to say that very carefully. Windgrace. The final episode of Picard Season 3 must come to an end. Oh, right. I don't know. I've heard it kind of sets up what's to come, doesn't it? Well, the podcast guys have said this, haven't they? Shane and Brian, they've said that. Right. Finally, near the end. Finally, do either of you have any keepsakes from the original series, as in TNG, not the original series, in your office? Are there any keepsakes that you have from this series in your office? Patrick Stewart says, I have my last captain's suit from the series and it hangs in my wardrobe. I have not actually put it on for a very, very long time, but the one person who, if I were to do this, I would want to surprise is my wife, who loved and adored TNG with her family. I think he's got a quite young wife, I think. So one day she will never know when. There might just be a surprise stored up and I shall appear wearing my Picard uniform. I've also got the badge secretly stored away in a safe. Frakes, I stole my last TNG suit and it hangs in my closet in a plastic bag. And one of my contractors saw it and borrowed it for Halloween one year, and I think that's the last time it was worn. Oh, I thought we were going to say never got it back. Oh, so there you go. That was just an interesting little interview with Frakes and Picard. Frakes and Stewart. So there we go. Right, what time is it? Right, I've got to end now. Because I've got stuff to do. So I just thought I'd do... hang on, where are we? Let's get rid of that. There we go. I just thought I'd do an impromptu live stream with some news, because I haven't done one for a while, because I've been playing bloody Hogwarts Legacy. And I've been shirking my news responsibilities. So I thought I'll do one. And I think tomorrow, it is Wednesday tomorrow, isn't it? Is Rumble Wednesday, so I'll be doing a news thing tomorrow for Rumble. But I'm not getting a lot of views. I don't get a lot of views on YouTube, but I'm getting even fewer views on Rumble. And I've not many followers. I've actually lost a follower. I only had 4, and now I'm down to 3. So I'll keep going for a while longer. If it doesn't get any better, I'll stop doing Rumble. Stop doing Rumble Wednesdays at least. I'll keep the channel going, and because the YouTube stuff auto uploads to Rumble, so I'll keep that going. But I won't be doing Rumble Wednesdays if it doesn't upturn. Because what's the point in doing exclusive stuff for Rumble if no bugger watches it? Anyway, right, I'm going to go. So anyway, thanks Windgrace, Archmage Frey, aka, for joining in. I wish I could have got the chat to show up on the screen. I don't know how to do it in Streamlabs. I've tried looking it up on the internet, how to get the chat to appear on Streamlabs, but I can't get it to happen. So maybe I'm going to have to try doing it on StreamYards. Or maybe I have to get the full version, because I'm using the free version right now, because I'm tight. And I'm not paying £20 a month to pay for the full version. Because, it's £20 a month. It's a fiver a week. So anyway, I don't know. It's all technical stuff beyond my ken. I've said that twice tonight, haven't I? Once. Anyway, right, so I'm going to go now. So anyway, so thanks for watching. Thanks, Windgrace, for joining in. Did anybody else join in? No, there were just you, weren't there? Just you, but we had a few other viewers pop in. I saw the numbers go up a little bit, so that was nice. So I'm going to go now because I've got stuff to do. So it's getting late now. It's 8 o'clock at night here in the UK. So I'm going to settle in and get sorted for the night. And I might play a bit more Hogwarts Legacy. We'll see. I might do. You know what? Yes, I am going to. So anyway, so if you want to hang around, that live stream will be popping up in the next hour or so. So I'll be doing that. Right. Oh yeah. So have a good time at work, Windgrace, and take care as well. You're a cool chap, and I like your channel. I'll put a link for it in my description. Right. So I'm definitely going now. So thanks for watching, and wherever you are in the universe, look after each other. And until next time, I'll say there.